What's cracking, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. New video. It was July of 2017 when I created my channel, my YouTube channel. I don't think I posted any content for a couple months. Didn't know what it was. I just got out of prison, having done 24 years, over 24 years. And when I created my channel, I created it sort of as a therapy for me, right? I've said this before and I'll say it again for those of you that are new to the channel. I had told the board that I could not have my greatest impact on the world be that I was a killer. And that I needed to return back to society and prove that I had changed. And I wanted to help other people. When I first got out, I was speaking at different places. I went to the juvenile hall in San Diego. I went to a couple continuation schools. I spoke at Catholic schools. I spoke at colleges and universities, right? Was interviewed by college students. And I enjoy doing it. But real life catches up and you have to pay the bills. And so I couldn't continue to do all those things when I had to work and I had to pay bills and I had a family to take care of, right? So my channel became the way to get my message out. And if you look at my Dubs channel, this is the channel I'm going to put this video on. When you look at it, 99% of my content is a glimpse into my life, a glimpse into a world that you don't want to be a part of. Now, recently, I say over the last year, and then it bubbled into this month, right? There's this whole thing where people are talking about Dubs' status in prison. People are saying Dubs is a liar. Dubs hid this and Dubs hid that. And, I've spoken to other content creators on the phone in real life. And the thing is, my channel is about my life experiences. I'm from that world where that world belongs where it's at. What someone's prison status is, how does that mean anything on the streets? 90% of my viewers have never been to prison and don't care about it. They like to hear the stories and they like to see the change from negative to positive, right? There will be a time, probably there will be a time where I may tell my story. I won't do it in a book. People have asked me to write a book. I get that a lot. I'm not really interested in that. But at some point, maybe I tell the full story. And I will say this. People are going to believe whatever they want to believe. But I'm telling you right now, these people that keep trying to put a rat jacket on me, I never told on anybody. See, people think they know what certain processes are for certain things. And my question is, if you've never done it, how would you know? You're speculating, right? You got to be smarter than who you're dealing with. And if you can't figure out how to be smarter than them, then you're a sucker. I've never been a sucker. So people are going to continue to believe what they want, and like I've always said, and they come out with all. I testified against people and all that. Never happened. There's not one person in the world that could ever say they caught time because of me, they got validated because of me, they got slammed down because of me, and like any of those things. There's not one. There's no one that can say that. Somebody said that I gave up some knives. Knives? The shit I was involved in, you think I did with knives? If I'm not gonna talk about, like, it's crazy. That never happened. That wouldn't even make sense. And then there's like somebody made a comment about me checking in on the yard, this and this and that. What the fuck? I'm curious, what yard is that? It doesn't make sense. Again, I may tell the story, but I'm going to tell you this. The reason why I don't go into details about my entire story is because I'm being respectful. And that's a fact. I'm being respectful. It would have a negative reflection on certain things. But just know that I never gave up my morals. Never did. Okay? And all the people that right now are clawing to do videos about me, I get it. I get it. But it's just a trip how people are telling half truths. Nobody was there but me. The people that were in parts of it, they know. The people that did business with me, criminal activities, criminal business, serious shit with me, you've never heard any of them, even through a proxy, through somebody else, say, hey, yeah, that vato fucking gave up this, and that. You've never heard anybody say the drops that we used got exposed. You've never heard anybody say even the codes that we used got exposed. And for some people, they're like, codes, drops. Exactly. It's not your world. It's not mine either. It was. Believe me, there's things I would love to say, things that I would love to point out. But I don't think it's for public consumption. I've always stood by that. And it's part of the reason why I don't name names. I don't name organizations. And I've had people tell me in the comments, I don't know why you don't just name names. They do. Well, if they're a member, they can do whatever they want. You're not a member, you ain't even supposed to say nothing. Their name, admit their existence, acknowledge their existence, any of that. So when people, oh, and by the way, I've been hearing lately too, there's a couple content creators that said I used to be humble and then I became arrogant. And they're not saying it to be fucked up. That's their belief and their opinion. And I respect another person's opinion. But I think they aren't seeing things in 3D. And the reason why I say that is over the years where I supposedly got arrogant, I have been attacked. I've been slandered. I saw a live last night and people were talking about my ex-wife, that she was fat. My ex-wife wasn't fat. That I used her. My ex-wife didn't work. I took care of the family. I even took care of the family while I was in prison. And so when I hear all these narratives, I trip out when I go into these comment sections, or if I go into these lives, and I don't see anyone in there becoming members of those channels or donating any money to support that content creator. I just see a cesspool of hatred. And it can, I mean, if the live is an hour, for legitimately an hour, they can go strong hating on a man they don't know and have never met. Creating whole stories. You know, this other individual I roasted the other day, he said, and I'll say it here, he said that when I was 16, I killed a gardener. And that's what I went to prison for. When I was 16, I was in YA. I went to YA at 15. I got out right before my 19th birthday. And 5 months after getting out, I caught a murder. The guy that was killed in my case was from my neighborhood. He was a 29-year-old man. And you know what? He left behind a family. And every time you talk about him and you guys make him a kid or an old man or a gardener, you're disrespecting that family. Whenever I talk about that case, it's usually to try to open people's eyes. And I try to be respectful to the family. I'm not proud of what I did. It was very shameful. But that man came in a carload of his friends 3 times with weapons. They told the cops that they went into my neighborhood to put in work. And the one that wound up dying again was from my neighborhood. He was backing up friends, family. Stuff happened back then. It was 1993. It was a very cold-blooded era. I was a very cold-blooded person back then. So I will leave it to everyone to keep discussing my prison status while I'm in the world. I will continue to put out videos for your children, for your nieces, for your nephews, and for you to see that prison and criminality, there's no happy endings. It's a fucked up way to live. And every one of the dudes in there, I don't care who it is, every one of the dudes in there, except for a small, tiny percentage that are righteous psychopaths, everyone else would love to be out here in the streets. And if they were on the streets, they wouldn't give a damn about prison. You know why? Because they spent their whole lives in there. The guys that are so infatuated with that stuff are the guys that they didn't go. Or if they did, they got out. They realized it wasn't for them and they stayed out. But for some reason, they're infatuated with it. They don't want to go back. No way, no hell. But they can't stop talking about it. At no point have I ever said anything regarding my active or non-active status. And yet I've been called a liar. I was talking to another content creator that did time in the Bay, was in the shoe for a while and stuff. And we were talking about that stuff. And we're talking about how when someone has lived a certain life, he develops certain habits. He conducts himself in a certain way. And I was laughing and I was like, these dudes act like I'm a different person off camera than I am on camera. I'm the same person. There's no acting. What you see is what you get. So I just figured I'd put that out there for you guys, and you guys do with it what you want. Like I said, I know 90% of my subscribers and people that watch my channel have never been to prison and don't care about it whatsoever. They tell me all the time, in IG, in Discord, in the comments on my videos. in person when they meet me on the streets. So, with that said, that's my video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Everybody, please be safe, be smart, and tell the ones you love that you love it, man. I'm out of here.